You won't believe what just hit Huntsville. LaTisha Scott has officially filed for divorce. And the reason? Marsau allegedly got caught red-handed with none other than Stormi Steele. That's right. Betrayal, hidden meetups, and a bombshell confrontation that changed everything. And now receipts are leaking fast. Stick around because this isn't just another rumor. This time it's real and it's messy. When it comes to messy breakups and cheating scandals, Love and Marriage Huntsville has seen its fair share. But this might be the most shocking twist yet. After years of defending her husband, brushing off cheating rumors, and standing 10 toes down in the face of public scrutiny, LaTisha Scott has officially filed for divorce from Marsau Scott. And the alleged reason behind it has fans and castmates in total disbelief. Sources close to production say she caught him in a compromising situation with none other than Stormi Steele, a woman who was not only a fellow cast member, but someone LaTisha once called a friend. That's right, the betrayal cuts deep and now the truth is coming out. In this video, we're diving into everything. The timeline of events that led to the breakdown of their marriage, how LaTisha discovered the affair and the alleged proof she has, Stormi's shocking response and the social media hints fans missed, what this means for the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast moving forward. You're going to hear the names, see the patterns, and learn how Stormi might have been creeping in plain sight. And believe me, there's more to this story than anyone expected. From secret hotel meetings to leaked DMs and tense arguments caught on camera, we're laying it all out. So don't blink, because every moment brings new receipts. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, there's one more twist that turns this entire scandal upside down. Get ready because this is where it gets messy. To the outside world, LaTisha and Marsau Scott appear to be the picture of success. Married for over 15 years, raising a beautiful family and building a business empire together with Black Cigar Lounge and various real estate ventures. They seemed unstoppable, especially on Love and Marriage Huntsville. LaTisha played the loyal, grounded wife who always protected the image of her marriage, even when the world around her started whispering otherwise. But if you've been watching closely, you know the cracks didn't start with the Stormi situation. No, this marriage started unraveling long before the headlines hit. On earlier seasons of Lamb, Mauro was often painted as the career-driven, no-nonsense businessman. But fans couldn't help but notice a pattern. He consistently dismissed LaTisha's opinions, belittled her on camera, and made decisions without consulting her. It became clear that LaTisha was trying to step out of the shadows and into her own voice. But Marcelo, he wasn't ready to let go of the control. Viewers also recall the infamous 20 women rumor that Mauro laughed off like it was nothing. He gave vague denials and smirked through interviews, while LaTisha, visibly hurt, tried to remain composed. She wanted to believe him. She needed to believe him. Because if she didn't, what did that say about the life she had built? And remember that Las Vegas trip? The tension between them was palpable. What should have been a romantic, fun getaway exposed just how emotionally distant they had become. Mauro's refusal to be transparent, paired with LaTisha's growing suspicion, was the first real sign that this wasn't just a strong Black couple navigating fame. This was a marriage hanging on by threads. Behind the scenes, sources say LaTisha had already been dealing with Mauro's late nights, work trips with no clear agenda, and private conversations that stopped as soon as she walked into the room. She wasn't dumb. She just wasn't ready to face the truth. But the real red flag? LaTisha began pulling back from filming. During key moments of last season, fans noticed she seemed distant, distracted, and much less confrontational than usual. One cast member who asked to remain anonymous claimed LaTisha would show up to set looking tired, drained, and emotionally closed off. She wasn't herself. She was holding on, the source said. But you could see it. The woman was breaking inside. It was during this quiet, emotional breakdown that Stormi Steele became more involved in the show. At first, the friendship between LaTisha and Stormi seemed genuine. They had common ground. Both businesswomen, both moms, both navigating drama. But what LaTisha didn't realize was that while she was venting about her marriage, Stormi may have been watching Marcelo a little too closely. LaTisha had no clue that while she was trying to fix her marriage in front of the cameras, a whole betrayal was unfolding behind the scenes. And just when she thought things couldn't get worse, a shocking discovery shattered everything. There's always that moment, the one that changes everything. And for LaTisha Scott, It didn't come in a public scandal, a leaked video, or a dramatic cast showdown. No, it happened quietly, and that made it even more painful. According to an insider tied to production, LaTisha first grew suspicious when Marco started getting extra friendly with Stormi Steele during off-camera moments at promotional events. One source said that while filming stopped, Marsau and Stormi's interactions didn't. Allegedly, he'd linger near her longer than necessary. There were whispers, exchanged glances, and those low-tone conversations that stopped the second someone else walked into the room. But the moment everything fell apart? A misplaced phone. LaTisha reportedly borrowed Marcelo's phone one evening to check something for their son's school event. What she found instead was a series of deleted texts that had been recently recovered through a cloud backup app that auto-synced messages. The texts weren't just, "Hey, what's up?" They were flirty, coded, and included a location pin drop to a boutique hotel in Birmingham where Mauro had claimed he was on a business call. One of the messages, allegedly from Stormi, read, "Let's keep it quiet like before. You know she's already suspicious." Another sent from Marsau said, "You always get in my head. I need a break from all this pressure." LaTisha froze. She reportedly stared at the phone for 10 minutes before finally confronting Marcelo in their kitchen. The kids upstairs completely unaware that their parents' entire relationship was unraveling just one floor below. An argument broke out, shouting, denial, defensiveness. Mauro tried to flip it, saying she misunderstood, that it was just a friend venting, that Stormi was being supportive. But LaTisha wasn't buying it. Not this time. She contacted her attorney the very next morning. The betrayal cut deeper than fans realized. Because this wasn't just cheating, it was emotional manipulation, lies stacked on top of lies. And worst of all, it involved someone LaTisha considered part of her inner circle. Now, here's where it gets even messier. LaTisha didn't go public right away. She kept filming, stayed silent, and waited. Why? Because she wanted to see if Stormi would own it, if Mars would come clean. But what happened instead made her blood boil. Stormi posted a series of Instagram stories, subtle, cryptic, but clearly throwing shade. One photo showed her in a silk robe at an unknown hotel suite with the caption, "When peace comes from the most unexpected place." Another had a quote that read, "Some bonds can't be explained. They just are." Now, to the average viewer, those are harmless. But LaTisha knew. She knew the robe. She knew the location. And she recognized the view from that suite because she and Mauro had stayed there during their anniversary 2 years prior. That was the final straw. Within days, LaTisha filed divorce papers, citing infidelity, emotional distress, and irreparable breakdown of trust. And while she didn't name Stormi directly in the documents, fans and insiders connected the dots quickly. TMZ later confirmed that the filing included a temporary restraining clause, preventing both parties from speaking about the case publicly while custody and asset division were being negotiated. But the silence didn't last because while LaTisha stayed quiet, Stormi didn't. In the next chapter, we're revealing how Stormi responded, the explosive post that nearly broke the internet, and why some fans are calling her the next side chick villain of the Lambs universe. After LaTisha's divorce filing hit the blogs, the silence from Marcel was expected. He's always played the keep it cool, don't address drama card. But all eyes turned to Stormi Steele, waiting to see if she would defend herself, stay quiet, or clap back. And she didn't make us wait long. Just 48 hours after the story broke. On social media, Stormi hopped on Instagram Live, sitting in her signature glam, hair laid, sipping from a wine glass as thousands of viewers piled into the stream. At first, she dodged the subject, talking about her business, her new skincare line, even her recent travel plans. But the comment section wasn't letting her escape. It flooded with, "Did you sleep with Mars or not? Why betray LaTisha like that? Say her name. Don't play games." Finally, Stormi addressed the elephant in the room. And let's just say, her answer raised more eyebrows than it settled. Listen, people love a good villain story. I get it. But I'm not about to feed into false narratives created by folks who just need something to talk about. Grown folks make grown decisions. And if certain people feel away, maybe they need to look at who really broke what. Cryptic, yes. Denial? Not exactly. But here's what got people really talking. Stormi then posted a now-deleted reel of herself in a black dress, walking confidently to a voiceover that said, "You ever walk into a room and everyone knows the truth, but they still pretend?" Yeah, me too. The caption, "Let them guess. I'm not explaining what they already know." Fans lost it. The comment section exploded. So, you're basically admitting it. Where there's smoke, there's Stormi. The fallout was immediate. LaTisha deserves better than this messy energy. But Stormi wasn't done. She began resharing memes that subtly shaded LaTisha. One that said, "A wife who ignores red flags just paints her own world red," and another that read, "Don't come for me unless you're sure your husband didn't." At this point, the fan base was divided. Some took Stormi's side, claiming the blame falls on Marsau and not the other woman. Others felt Stormi violated girl code, especially as someone LaTisha had once embraced and defended on the show. And then came the bombshell. A leaked voicemail surfaced on a Huntsville gossip blog. Allegedly a voice that sounded exactly like Stormi telling a friend, "I didn't plan it. It just happened. We vibed. He wasn't being treated right and I was there. I didn't expect her to find out like this." The authenticity of the voicemail hasn't been confirmed, but the voice tone, inflection, and context had fans 99% convinced it was her. Meanwhile, LaTisha remained silent. No posts, no likes, no shade. But silence speaks volumes. And it didn't help Storm's case that other cast members started distancing themselves. Melody Hall, who's had her own public drama with Martell, posted a subtle story with the text, "When you play with fire, don't act surprised when you burn your whole brand down." Even Kimmy Grant, who's always played peacemaker, posted a prayer quote about betrayal from unexpected places. And here's where things get strategic. Stormi went into full damage control, issuing a vague public statement through her brand's page. Stormi Steele stands on integrity, growth, and transparency. We're focused on business, not gossip. Personal matters will remain personal. But it was too late. The public had already decided. Stormi wasn't denying the affair. She was dancing around it. From a branding perspective, the fallout has been real. Several fans announced they'd stopped supporting her products, calling her messy, two-faced, and reckless. And the question that still lingers, why Stormi? Why Marcello? Why now when LaTisha was finally carving out her own space, launching her businesses and reclaiming her voice? Some insiders say this wasn't a new affair, that it had been going on quietly for over a year, with Stormi allegedly being the emotional escape Marcel leaned on when his marriage got tough. Others believe it was a power move, Stormi trying to shake off the outsider status and secure a long-term place in the Lamb spotlight, even if it meant burning bridges. But the storm's not over yet. While Stormi stirred the pot with cryptic posts and wine-fueled Instagram lives, LaTisha Scott took a different approach. For days after the divorce news broke, he was silent, unusually silent. No statements, no interviews, not even his usual sarcastic tweets. Fans knew something was up, and the tension only grew. Then, without warning, Marcello dropped a 4-minute Instagram video seated in his signature cigar lounge, looking calm but visibly exhausted. The lighting was dim, the energy heavy. He started by thanking fans for their support, but what followed had everyone questioning his entire character. "Listen, I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'll never be the villain in a story I built from the ground up." Wait, what? Fans instantly clocked the tone. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't a confession. It was Marsau doing what Marsau does, deflecting and maintaining control. He went on to say, "People love to twist narratives for attention. My focus has always been on family and legacy. I don't respond to rumors. I build empires." The comments section? Chaos. "Sir, are you admitting anything? Or just dodging accountability again? Not the narcissism in 4K? You broke your own home and now you're talking about empires." But that wasn't even the most shocking part. Marcello ended the video by saying, "Sometimes people file for divorce not because of betrayal, but because they're tired of losing battles that were never fair to begin with. You can't win in a war where love is weaponized." Cue the gaslighting accusations. Many fans, especially longtime LAMH viewers, saw this as Marsau's classic playbook. Spin the story, turn himself into the victim, and blame the breakdown of the marriage on communication, or emotional fatigue instead of taking ownership of alleged infidelity. But behind closed doors, the story was much different. According to a cast insider, Marsau and Stormi had been seen together multiple times at late-night events, and one crew member allegedly overheard Marsau asking Stormi to lay low for a few weeks while he handled the public fallout. "He's not panicked," the source said. "He's calculating. He thinks if he just waits it out, the heat will die down and people will forget." But what Marsau didn't count on. LaTisha wasn't staying quiet anymore. For years, she protected him. She fought off rumors. She distanced herself from other cast members just to prove her loyalty. But this betrayal cut too deep, and now she's allegedly preparing to speak her truth on camera, possibly in a special sit-down episode with OWN producers that's currently in talks. Let's not forget Marsau has never been one to admit wrongdoing. From the season 1 cheating whispers to his emotional manipulation of LaTisha on air, he's always danced around accountability. But this time, the internet wasn't letting it slide. Marsau Exposed began trending with fans pulling clips from old seasons, highlighting every red flag, every shady business trip, every moment he subtly disrespected LaTisha. Some even noted how Marsau would praise other women's ambition, while dismissing LaTisha's dreams, calling her ideas cute or unrealistic. It was never just about cheating. It was about control, neglect, and years of subtle emotional damage. Now here's where it gets even messier. A former assistant of Marsau's reportedly contacted a YouTube blogger with screenshots of messages and calendar entries confirming late-night meetups with SS, which many believe points to Stormi Steele. The messages included, "Make sure suite is cleared by 10, bring extra bottle, no names, just initials. She's getting suspicious. Need a few days off the radar." If proven true, these receipts could completely shatter Marsau's public image, not just as a businessman, but as a husband, father, and man who consistently branded himself as misunderstood. And here's the twist. Despite everything, Marcelo hasn't deleted a single photo of LaTisha from his social media. Fans believe he's playing mind games, keeping her visible as a symbol of stability, while privately trying to rewrite the narrative in his favor. So the real question is, does Marsau want the marriage to end? Or does he just want to control how the story ends?